Well, more of the faithful gathered at St. Louis the Cathedral today as capacity increased as part of phase 2 of reopening. Racial injustice was a large topic of conversation for Archbishop Gregory Amond. Earlier this month, he led a peaceful march and prayer service. Today, he spoke with us about unrest in the country.
As we pray for peace here in New Orleans, we see that very much throughout the United States and throughout the world. There are many protests, many people who have broken hearts because of what has taken place with Mr. Floyd, but also others like him, many others like him whose lives have been taken unjustly. And so we pray for racial equality. We pray for social justice, and we pray that the message of Jesus, which was